But I'm delighted to say that the match between the Southwest and Western Samoa goes ahead despite the sub-zero temperatures. Remember, we're coming to you live from Kingsholm in Gloucester, and our commentary team for tonight's match are Miles Harrison and Jamie Salmon.
Cold, David, I should say so. My goodness me, we'll be cold at the end of this one. But I wonder how the Western Samoans are feeling in the dressing room at the moment. Their squad has been tested to the full. Their tour is just in danger of getting away from them. Comprehensive defeats to both the Midlands and the North must have severely affected the side's confidence. So they'll be looking for victory here in Gloucester tonight, with the international just a week away now against England at Twickenham. It's a healthy crowd and a good atmosphere as well. Great rugby tradition in this part of the world, and they have welcomed the tourists with open arms, and they'll be looking to a free-flowing game on an interesting pitch which won't get any better for these players. And the Western Samoans led onto the field by their skipper Pat Lamb. Captain Lamb, you may remember, he scored a great try in the World Cup against Argentina. Want to live in the memory. I'd like to score a try tonight because victory is so important to his team. Got to get back on the rails. That's the worrying area of the pitch, just down in front of us on this main stand side. There was a tarpaulin over the ground. The heavy frost, though, last night just seemed to get under a section of the tarpaulin. And as the temperature continues to drop, that ground will just get harder and harder. And it's something that the referee and players will have to review as the evening goes on. But at the moment, we've got a game. Both captains were happy to play. And here come the Southwest. Led by a Bristol man on Gloucester turf, that's Paul Hull. And by winning last Saturday, they put an end to a miserable sequence of results. It was the Southwest's first victory in 2 seasons. Paul Hull was the skipper then, and he's captain tonight. Must be Christmas soon for Hull to get such a warm welcome here at Kingsholm. And here is a warm welcome from the Western Samoans, the Manu Samoa.
Manu! Samoa! Manu Samoa! Manu Samoa! Manu Samoa! Manu Samoa! Manu Samoa!
Vaega leading the charge. That's how to lay down a challenge. Let's have a look at the two teams then. And the Southwest first. 5 Gloucester men play on their home pitch tonight. Centre Simon Enoch comes over the border from Pontypridd. And let's hope Nick Beale and Paul Holford see plenty of ball. Both celebrated their birthdays last Saturday, but neither scored in that win over London. Samoa keep faith with the team that lost to the Midlands 7 days ago. There are 12 of the side that played against Scotland at Murrayfield, and 10 of this team have scored a try on this tour. Our referee is Didier Mene, a Catalan by birth, now lives near Marseille. He's an international referee, and you may remember he sent off John Davis of Wales at Cardiff last Five Nations season when the Welsh were playing England. It is cold, and here are the pre-match thoughts of Jamie Salmon.
Yes, it certainly is, and the first thing I noticed was that Western Samoan team have all cut the sleeves off their jerseys. They must have done it much earlier in the tour, I think, and not realised that Gloucester could get this cold, but certainly they're all right. They look pretty up for the game, and they'll certainly get a good reception down here at Kingsholm.
It's Samoa in the shape of Darren Kellett to get us underway. And it's important to settle early on for both sides and get used to these conditions. It's Dix with the early pass from fly half. And Enoch's kick. Veli Patu across, and oh my goodness, that was nearly a fatal error so early in the match. Beale went through on Patu, who took his time, the fullback.
He certainly did, but he was actually on the most treacherous part of the field. You can see the bit of white covering on that side. That's obviously where the frost has got him most of all. The covers didn't quite reach the touchline, but a jittery start from the fullback.
It's Kevin Dunn to throw. Popular in these parts, former Gloucester man, now with Wasps. Picked up by Filemu, the scrum half. Well ripped away by Glanville. He's been impressing for the Southwest this season, the Gloucester flanker. Fenley was trying to dig it out, but was being impeded. And referee Mene decides that we have our first penalty of the evening.
Yes, you can see the Western Samoan hands preventing that ball from coming back. You can see them quite deliberately tampering with the ball, to use a cricket phrase. But gives Paul Hull, captain of the Southwest, his first shot at goal.
Well, it's certainly not cricket in weather. This is Paul Hull, who's trying to develop into a kicker as well as a strike fullback. The forgotten man of English rugby. He's not got this one, has he? He just hasn't pulled it round. So an early miss from Hull. And Kellett getting us moving. Hull to try and hit back. A neat little play, just didn't break for him. Again, it bounced very high off the hard turf there. And Hull knocked on.
Yes, but it's good to see Paul Hull being very positive straight away, looking for the counter-attack. Good little chip ahead, didn't quite manage to get it into his hands before he was tackled by Kellett. Put him off a bit. But good positive play from the captain and fullback of the Southwest, Paul Hull.
Referee just wanting to reset the scrum. There are the pack weights, and as we've come to expect on this tour, Western Samoa having the advantage there. They look to the likes of Peter Fatialofa at 19 stone 12 to help with that overall weight. Kellett. Again, Beale was going back there, number 14, looking rather wary of the turf. Hull's kick kept in by Lamb. But there's a long blast because there's an offside back upfield. And Western Samoa have a penalty. Be interesting to see what decision they take. Well, Kellett seems to be shouting the orders. Possibly hinting at the high one through the middle, but no, he went for touch.
Yes, right option really. Western Samoa have struggled in early stages of their games. They struggled against the Midlands, conceded early points a week ago. They need to get down there and get some territorial advantage and put some pressure on.
Out now with Kaleta, this big back row man who's been so impressive on this tour. And it's gone forward. And Sam Kaleta has been one of the top men. That's Vaiala getting off the floor, but Kaleta's surging run.
Yes, comfortably through the tackle, Joel Pearson. And just trying to look at proper, it wasn't really a knock-on really from Western Samoa. It seemed to be a Southwest hand in there. But good start from the back row of Western Samoa.
Fenley off to Hull. He'll feel better after that.
Obviously, the important thing in a night like this is that everybody gets involved in the game early. There's no point just kicking ball. It's quite right, Paul Hull kicking that one. They want to get both sets of backs involved, because there's nothing worse than, I assure you, staying in a left wing or in the middle of the field and centre and hardly having a touch in the first 20 minutes. You're just going to get colder and colder.
Matawiao's throw. Falanico on the peel with the free kick given.
And it won't help if the referee has to blow up all the time and it's a stop-start type of game. It needs to be fluid and flowing.
This is Dix, the fly half for the Southwest. Straight to Veli Patu. He saw the space well. Oh, but that wasn't the best of passes, was it? Tuigamala has to offload. Well, it's all or nothing from Patu. And Lamb, the skipper, will want his fullback just to calm it down.
Yes, indeed. There are ways of getting out of defence, and there are ways not to, and certainly Patu didn't help his defence much there.
Good win by Sims. Through goes Falanico, but offside.
Well, it is stop-start at the moment. I think every line-out's been penalised so far by the referee.
This is Richard Dix. That's his favoured side. In fact, he did play for the South West last season, but it's also a Cambridge Blue.
Well, the line-outs have been a problem so far in the game, admittedly only a few minutes old, but the referee has seen fit to penalise a lot, and the players don't want this at all. They can't afford a stop-start game.
That lead was from Craig Yandell, who burst onto the rugby scene with the South West last season, formerly of Narberth, now with Saracens, and he set up this excellent platform and good work by these South West forwards. They want to keep it tight, and there goes Yandell now on his own. Just needs one man with him. He might get there himself if has. Oh, yeah. And finished it. I thought he needed support, but he pulled the Western Samoan cover, and we have our first try of the evening. We've played just over 7 minutes.
Well, Craig Yandell did very well to get back in there to support. There's just a little bit of doubt that he actually grounded. Pat Lamb seemed to get right underneath it there. You see, Pat Lamb, I think that ball was not grounded. And Pat Lamb did very well to get underneath it. But the referee's given the benefit of the doubt as Yandell goes to the line, but I'm sure Pat Lamb, just in there, managed to keep it off the ground.
Well, Lamb thought he had been successful in doing that, because I heard the cry, "No way," when the try was awarded. It's on the board now. Very similar kick to his first attempt, so 2 unsuccessful kicks from poor Hull.
Yes, it's interesting because the referee's now given a penalty against the Western Samoans for dissent as well, but you'll see there how Pat Lamb gets underneath it. There, you see, that ball is not grounded. And that's why Pat Lamb had a word with the referee, and why the referee has now given a penalty to the South West for that dissent.
They must feel the whole world's against them, Western Samoans. Not getting the rub of the green there, and I think the replay clearly showed that there was no try.
Yeah, and it's worth pointing out the referee must be beyond all reasonable doubt that that ball has been grounded. There must be no doubt at all that that has happened. And certainly Pat Lamb was justified in having a quiet word. He obviously had more than a quiet word to the French referee.
Picked up by Moataa. Came out on this tour as a replacement. South West killing it on the wrong side. Bruce Fenley, the Gloucester scrum half. Happy Valley Patu's kick. Scored 3 tries in the opening match against Edinburgh. Seems a long time ago. Telea, good hands. Taken a little high by Glanville. Tuigamala usually stays on his feet. Good strong centre. Lofa. Falemu again. Kellett. Nick Beale again forced to turn and chase back on the tricky side of the ground, and poor Hull with cold hands, no doubt, but it was still a bad error.
Well, it was ambitious, certainly, and the easy option was obviously to kick it in row 55 with a stand. Paul Hull off his right foot, there he goes, bang, except the ball slipped out when he did his extravagant sidestep, which I haven't seen for a long time, to be honest. But it's good to see him being positive and ambitious. I mean, I don't like criticising him just for the knock-on, because at least he obviously saw an opening there. There was only one Western Samoan coming forward to put pressure on, and he saw an opening and unfortunately went horribly wrong for him on that occasion.
I just wonder what's going through his mind these days. 4 England caps, limped off against Canada last year, hasn't played since, hasn't done a lot wrong really.
No, he certainly hasn't, and of course Jonathan Callard, who got in the South Africa game, has been discarded for the next one. Mike Catt's gone back there, so there's a bit of uncertainty in the England full-back berth.
That scrum's gone round beyond 90 degrees.
The scrum was certainly an area that Western Samoa struggled at last Saturday when we saw them against the Midlands, and speaking to Brian Williams beforehand, he said they've done a lot of work on it in the week.
And that's a good shove from the front row again. It's been controlled by Lamb, the number 8.
I mean, I hasten to add that this front row of Windo, Dunn and Hinkins is no comparison to the Midlands front row, but we'll see what happens.
Kaleta, and it's back nicely for Falemu. Now let's see what the backs can do. Vaega nearly lost control. He was just receiving treatment moments ago. He seems to be okay now. Falemu, good tigerish tackling from the southwest. But the presentation of the ball is good. That's Brian Lima, who's come in from the right wing. Falemu, neat pickup. And there's Kellett. And the penalty, presumably for offside, confirmed by the referee. It's a lovely pickup from Vaega there that kept the move going.
Well, the ball retention was good from Western Samoa, and everybody got a touch with it. Someone on the line. There's a few Western Samoans down on the ground, I have to say, at the moment. There's 2 or 3 there, and the Western Samoan physio on. They're all down on the ground at the moment, but it was good play by Western Samoa in terms of ball retention. Good little switch there into Kellett. However, faced with 2 Southwest players there, but the referee's already given the offside in midfield.
This is, of course, the Samoan worry this evening. They've got to have their minds on the international next week. That's only natural.
It is natural. I mean, as we see, sadly, in this early stages, 2 of them down there, but it's interesting, again, speaking of Brian Williams, their coach, they're a little bit miffed that, you know, they, in Leicester last Saturday, up to Huddersfield, down here to Gloucester. They've got to go to Newcastle tomorrow to play England A on Tuesday, so they're certainly doing the length and breadth of the country of England, and then, of course, down to Twickenham for the last few days of the tour, so they've certainly done a few miles on this tour as well, and it's not always been one way. They've been up and down a bit like yo-yo, so they've got to grin and bear it, and certainly they're looking forward to being in one place for a few days, i.e. London next Wednesday after their last midweek game. But certainly the injury to Brian Lima is a big worry, because he is a good match winner, Brian Lima. He's been very good form this tour, the right winger.
Was Vaega at the bottom of all of that. The ground's not too bad there. It's on this near side where the problem is. Here's Stuart Barnes.
Yeah, important kick here for Darren Kellett just to get them back into the game, but let's hope Brian Lima's all right, because to my books he's one of the great wingers in world rugby at the moment. On the game itself, ominous, I think, that Western Samoa's scrum pushed the Southwest back. I think if they can win ball, then they're certainly going to come out, kick this goal and win this game.
Important kick for Kellett. It's nicely struck, and it's safely through, so the Western Samoans get back into the game. It's 5-3 to the Southwest, and we've played just over the 15-minute mark. Now there are replacements on the field. We'll fill you in a moment, but here's Patu. It's a little bit tight over there for Lima. And Patu again. For Hull, encouraged by the crowd to run it. This is Holford. The Gloucester boy, another Gloucester man. Fenley, good work from Bruce Fenley. And his opposite number, Lima, made the tackle. Rollitt went with him. There's Pearson of Bristol. Good play by the Southwest. And they keep it going. Fenley, Dix. Back goes Alex Telea. Safety first. Now Stephen Smith is on the field, we understand. And Pat Lamb, the Samoan skipper, is receiving the treatment from Karen Sutton. And let's hope this isn't too serious. It's a big day for Lamb next week at Twickenham.
It most certainly is, and they need their captain very badly on that day. But Stephen Smith has got his chance now.
A missed move in the centre. Enoch cutting back inside from Pontypridd. This is Fenley. And Hull loves those little mazy runs. Windo back to Fenley. Dix with the drop goal. And he's got it. So Richard Dix, who played in the varsity match last season, slotting this one nicely on his left boot, which is his best side.
Yes, it certainly is. Tuigamala just hung off him a bit. He didn't attack him with the tackle. You'll see he's hesitant in midfield there. He's actually faced with probably a couple of more men that he'd like to be. But it gave Dix that necessary second or two to pick his line for his kick.
8-3 the Southwest lead, and that Kellett penalty is cancelled out. Well, no knock-on given. The Samoans must be thinking about the state of their captain, as Fenley does knock on this time.
But it's quite interesting is when Southwest have got the ball. One thing that was one of the great strengths of Western Samoa was their tackling and their physical presence, to put it mildly, in the tackle. And it's something that's been conspicuous by its absence in the last 2 or 3 games, and it's something they've got to get back into their game pretty smartly.
Kellett's kick, not the best that he's ever put in, but it breaks fortunately for Vaega. For Lemu. That's Falanico, the big second row. Lima loves to cut in from that wing. London know all about that. Scored 3 tries that day. Here's Vaega. Once more, it's offside against the Southwest. The referee's keen on this, and the Southwest must take note. But the Samoans have blown it. Lima needs a good bounce. Caught by Holford. The referee Mene deciding that the footing should go southwest way.
For Lima, the Western Samoans come off really is in danger, as we see the touch judge with his flag out for some indiscretion. And Lima really took the ball under his own charge for that penalty, knocked it on, and it's cost him 40-50 yards. As we await the outcome of this discretion, touch judge obviously seen something amiss, has informed his referee, Didier Mene, on what it is.
Well, they're all French officials this evening, and that was pushing my O-level French to the limit, that conversation.
Well, he offered Hull a scrum or a penalty, I think, probably miles back in his own half. But the rule states that if it plays on, you have the penalty from when the play finishes. That's what I thought.
Now you're cheating. You're listening to the English. Here's Pearson. Taken on by Yandell, already a try scorer. Evan Rollitt felt that challenge, but he still set it back. Fenley, Dix. Needed to move it out wide, really. Well, Glanville can see it, and as he goes mountaineering, the referee, to the disgust of the Samoans, gives the put into the southwest.
Yeah, well, I thought it was a 50-50 situation, to be frank with you, but the Samoans are not terribly impressed as we see steam rising.
Breakaway by Rollitt. You may remember his father Dave played for England. This is Hinkins keeping up the Bristol theme. Dix, dangerous pass. And all thoughts of attacking from Hull went to just defensive thoughts and to seek the forwards. Referee weighs play on. Enoch. It's a scrappy phase of the game, this.
It certainly is very scrappy indeed, and certainly there doesn't, the ball's not quite going to hand as we see this, well, that one disappearing off into touch. But really the Samoans, they're not quite in unison again. They're not really as a unit and hunting as a unit as they tend to do, and Western Samoa are really playing into the southwest hands as the try scorer Yandell gets a bit of treatment.
Craig Yandell getting the chance today because Gareth Archer will be away with the England A side next week, and the southwest side missing a number of players who've impressed this season, who will be with England A in the match in Gateshead on Tuesday. The likes of Alex King, Kevin Yates, Phil Greening, Gareth Archer. They've all been pushing their claims by playing for the southwest this season. Under lights for the first time on Sky Sports, a rugby match. Moataa. Fenley always looks to use the backs, and it's refreshing to see, and you can understand as Tuigamala bursts through, gets support. Vaega caught on halfway. Fenley again, he's everywhere, this little scrum half. Kellett's long pass. Lima. And Fenley. Oh, seeing the space again. Support from Kaleta. Fenley, good hands. This is lovely rugby. Tuigamala just caught at the very end of a super move, but it keeps going, and it's Fenley still in the driving seat. The scrum half is full of energy, and Patu, the fullback, finishes off a cracking move. Well, a lovely try, and the crowd respond.
It was a cracking move from Western Samoa. They break through the midfield defence very comfortably of the southwest, and when it got to near the try line, they were clinical in their finishing, and Happy Valley Patu somehow managed to creep through very close to that maul situation and touch it down.
It's a lovely try. It was Fenley who was everywhere, but Patu had the awareness right at the end to take advantage of some more space. He's now scored 5 tries on tour and is the leading try scorer for Western Samoa.
Well, that should warm them up a bit, certainly Western Samoa, because it's obviously the best backline move we've seen tonight, and it was good to see Tuigamala, and as you rightly say, Fenley was everywhere in that move. He made a couple of the breaks as well, and certainly they'll be delighted if Kellett can get this one over.
Kellett then. As close can be. So 25 minutes gone, and both sides have a try, but that was the better one of the two, and we're level at 8 points all. Falaniku took the catch from the kick-off. He needs a big performance today. Struggled last week in the line-out against Bayfield. Mind you, most people do. Palemu. Telea's coming up on Nick Beale. Or taken by Beale. The brave catch. Fenley. Dix. The crowd wanted him to run. But it's a more than useful kick. Testing Patu.
It was a good option from Dix too, because Telea, the left winger, had been up chasing for Nick Beale, so he knew the hole was in behind there. So it was a fair call from Dix to put it down in that right-hand corner. Super catch from Nick Beale. He never took his eyes off the ball. Look at him, up, hands up, going up in the air too. You can't be tackled in the air. There was two Samoans coming after him.
And the penalty is given. Playing on the wrong side. Western Samoa. It's a long way out. Dix is just checking the orders. And he's going for touch. Of course, with it being the penalty, the South West will get the throw into the line-out and have the chance to dictate.
Well, they've shortened it for the first time down to a 4-man.
Yandell was at the tail. Referee happy to wave play on. The Samoans thought there'd been a knock-on. There has been now. Glanville played in all 3 divisional matches for the South West this season prior to today's game. And they're just knocking forward.
I'll tell you what, it's interesting watching Didier Mene, the French referee. He's not a quick mover, you know. He doesn't sort of go around the rucks and all to see where the ball is and all the rest of it. He's quite happy to be pretty relaxed about it, as he actually must say he's a brave referee, because he's gone in between 2 props who were squaring up to each other. But he wasn't actually really looking for the ball in that situation.
He's an international referee. Took charge of 2 games in Cardiff in recent times. Wales against South Africa and Wales against England, and offside given at the line-out.
Harsh call. Harsh call. I thought they were about right coming through there. Basialofa and Mika with 2 props coming through. We'll see here as the ball comes down there. They haven't moved off the line. That's fair enough, I reckon.
Dix is taking this kick on. It's been Alex King operating at fly half for the South West this season, and making quite an impression, so much so that he shot into the England A side. But Dix will be happy to get this chance. He overcompensated, setting it out too far the other way. Patu. Nothing is predictable about Veli Patu's play from full-back, and about poor Hull's. Fenley. Dix. Where they're going, it's the other centre from Exeter, Turner, who kept it going and then set back to Fenley again, using the fours to bash the holes. And it's created some room here for Dix. It was knocked back by a Samoan hand. It wasn't a knock forward, but that was. Brian Lima.
Good interchange by the South West. Forwards and backs very much to the fore there. Brian Lima taking his eyes off the ball, unlike him, had a chance to clear the danger.
There goes Rollitt. With him is Glanville. Just pushed it back on his own side, so no knock on again as Sims is encouraged by his home crowd. Fenley gets hands on it eventually. It's back to Dix, another drop goal.
Well, it was slow ball coming out of that maul for the southwest, so really Dix didn't, I suppose, have much option. Depends if he got a call from outside or not, and if he did, he should have given it, but it really was very slow coming out, so he took the easy option right in front to put another 3 points on the board for his side. But Western Samoa, sort of, having scored that try, got into a bit of a lull, you know, having done the hard work and got back in the game. And they've really got to pin the southwest back now in their own half for a while.
Just to remind you, if you're just joining us, that Pat Lamb, the Western Samoan skipper, has been injured in this half, so his place has been taken by Stephen Smith, who's wearing 20. And the Samoans can ill afford to be without their skipper at Twickenham next week. Let's hope that, for their sake, the injury is not a serious one. Tuigamala sets Vaega going. Good strong running from centre again. The support is there from Lima. His lines of running are so good, Brian Lima, but that time he was just driven out wide. But it's set back once more. Fulemu, Kellett. There's not too much support here for Tuigamala. There was only hooker Moataa who was hanging out wide on the right wing. There he is. When they get it going, the Samoans look so good in the back division. Kellett, Vaega, just showed it to Telea and keeps on going. Took both Hull and Veal to stop him. Fulemu. It's Palanico. Poor old Richard Dix didn't know what had hit him there. Fulemu. On to Kellett. There's an overlap here. It's the little chip in the end. Meant for Birtwistle, the big second row. Oh, yes. Mark Birtwistle showing his tremendous pace around the field there to score a try out on the wing. Remember, he plays in the second row. Scored against the Midlands last week. Scores again here, and he'll remember that for a long, long time.
Well, he certainly will. With a nice little chip through, there's a definite overlap on here. And Paul Holford, the left winger, had to turn. That's what gave Birtwistle the advantage. But very well indeed. As we see it here, there is an overlap situation. As we see, they get the ball. Now, freeze it there. You'll see how there's only two Southwest players against them, and Birtwistle keeps on going. And down he goes.
Away in the mist. Darren Kellett will look to add the 2 points. Two excellent tries from Western Samoa. One from fullback Patu and one from Birtwistle as Kellett removes the tarpaulin that enabled this match to take place and enabled him to have that conversion.
Well, he's been striking the ball very well throughout the half, just missed a couple alongside the post. Well, that one is sweetly struck indeed. Great confidence builder, scoring a try on the touchline and get the extra 2.
Just over 5 minutes until the interval. The Samoans have a 4-point advantage. Fulemu will always look to break that first line of defence. He's won a penalty because of offside. Here's Stewart again. Well, we can't hear Stewart there, so they continue with the action as Kellett kicks to touch.
Well, it's important that Western Samoa in these last 5 minutes of the half just concentrate on staying down the southwest end, and therefore try and put some points on. Another couple, 3 points would give them a lot of confidence going into half-time. They mustn't concede anything though.
Falaniko, try score a bird whistle. Falemu, Smith. The Samoans have really upped the tempo. This is a good response. They were disappointed with the award of the first try to the southwest, which they felt, and I think we also proved wasn't a try. Tony Windo.
Been 2 cracking tries though for the Western Samoans. They really have shown all-round ability.
There's a player being held back there, Craig Yandell. But the free kick has gone for closing the gaps, which was the first offence. Kaleta. Falemu. There's Kellett. They could score again before half-time. Then you would back Samoa to be onto winning ways again.
You never quite know with Samoa, do you? I mean, they've produced this wonderful running, or a couple of running tries, and then they go into a lull, and they can look positively awful at times, really. They do have a concentration problem. Mind you, tonight, I don't blame them, bearing in mind the conditions. But Falemu's done well this half. He had a poor game last Saturday against Matt Dawson, whose game got him into the England side for next week. But Falemu's bounced back this weekend and proving to be a pretty good scrum half.
He also had a super game against Scotland, and when you were talking about concentration on the big day, on the international day, the Western Samoans were certainly up for that game at Murrayfield, and England beware because of that.
Oh, they like a stage. Oh, they like a stage, and 78,000 next weekend will certainly please them greatly. They are very, very proud to have sold out Twickenham, I can tell you that.
They certainly enjoyed playing at Twickenham against London, a match which they won. Against the other English divisions, they rather struggled, but not so tonight. Very much in this match as Holford shepherds the ball out. Important little period, this. The game is finely balanced.
I mean, really, with the breaks that the Samoans have made in the midfield and out wide, you have to think that they've got the advantage here in this game, because the Southwest backs haven't threatened anything like that, or how the Samoans have in terms of getting through gaps or creating any sort of gaps.
Matauiao, the hooker, will have to wait. Another injury. Physio Karen Sutton is getting through a lot of work this evening. She's been with the Samoans for quite a time now, went to the World Cup and also the Hong Kong Sevens earlier this year. It's Big Kaleta who will shrug off any ill effects that he's feeling. Matauiao, who's another player, a little bit like Birtwistle was with the try, who's around the field so quickly. Oh, nice break from Kellett, and the support was there inside again. It was Falemu. There's Mika, big Mike Mika, the prop. Tuigamala, the interchanging between backs and forwards is a joy to watch. So versatile in broken play. Falemu is screaming the orders here, and that ball has got to get moving, otherwise the referee will blow. Falemu caught by Dunn and then Fenley. There's desperate stuff though from the southwest. Glanville plays scrum half, and it's Turner who finds touch. Andy Turner of Exeter, born up in the north in Saddleworth, but he's been with Exeter now for a fair while to make sure that he's a southwest man tonight.
Super break by Kellett there, wasn't he? Showed the ball for the man coming, Tuigamala coming on the crash, and glided through that midfield. That's what I was referring to a few moments ago, with the potential of the Western Samoan midfield to get through the Southwest, and certainly the Southwest haven't done anything like that to their opponents.
Vaiala looking for the jump of Birtwistle.
Well, he's been done for dummying. He just went to throw and didn't, and you're not allowed to do that.
There's two timing is the referee's phrase. Here's Patu. Again, he had support outside, but trusted his own ability to jink and swerve. Telea helped him out. Now these Samoans are looking a little bit short on this near side, but they've won the ball. So perhaps it won't matter. Now the support is coming and moving out wide. Look at Vaiala, the hooker again, hitting Beale. Unfairly, according to the referee, and Beale has reacted badly. Vaiala spends more time on the wing than he does at hooker.
He does, but you watch this. Unfortunately, Beale gets man and ball, and it is high. There's no question about that. I mean, it wasn't late, but it was certainly very, very high, and I don't blame Nick Beale at all for being somewhat aggrieved.
Yes, it was. It was high. I didn't think it was late initially, but that replay showed it was clearly high.
Yes, indeed, and I thought Beale did well to get up to be aggrieved, to be honest with you.
Well, that is half-time. So they can all cool down now, but I don't think they will need to on a night like this. It's a bitterly cold evening here at Kingsholm, but the Western Samoans have warmed us all up with two excellent first-half tries. The downside for them, of course, the injury to Pat Lam. We hope that he's okay. He certainly won't take any further part in this match, but you can watch the second half after the break.